welcome back to one of our final broadcasts here with the TSN Armada Online. We've just got a mission set up. It's an escort mission for two crews, the Artemis crew and the Intrepid crew.
Be exiting the waypoint 60 gate in a matter of a few minutes. There have been reports of pirate activity in this area, so do investigate Nebula's other activities where they may be hiding, but your primary objective is to keep those transports safe, so be wary of cloaked vessels sneaking up on them.
So there's Fish just giving the crews their mission orders, making sure they've got transport vessels coming through waypoint 60. Their primary objective is to try and defend those transport vessels as they come through. Pirate ships reported in the area, so it looks like we're going to see pirate vessels as the main enemy force here. The Artemis being a Zimni jump ship. They've been quite daring there, I think. Zimni battleship, there we go.
Artemis, what are your orders?
The Intrepid there, taking a missile cruiser. Again, the missile cruiser, I would say quite a tricky ship because of the limitation of beams. Let's go to the observer screen. Let's get a shot of them together. There we go. And I'm going to switch over so Fish can hear me now.
Microphone activated.
There we go, Fish. I've done my introduction. We are live at the moment, Fish. We heard your orders going out.
Intrepid, please follow our lead to Alpha 5, Mark 5.
Just pull up the music a little bit in the background. So we've got some tunes as we're going. We're just saying it was rather daring to take a jump ship, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun ship to play with, especially if you know what you're doing, but it does require a little bit of coordination.
Right. I think what I'm going to try and do in the background here is fire up another Artemis screen so that we can get the captain's map at the same time. I do have a setup for this, so hopefully I can make it work. We've just got the observer screen up at the moment.
Intrepid, please deal with the incoming in Alpha 5.
Let's get your IP address again.
No whisper target found. No whisper target found.
Let's see, captain's map. Okay, looks like the transport fleet's come through.
Yeah.
I think as well I'm going to be able to get the captain's map up. I'm just going to transfer across. That looks like a good setup. Fading across, bringing in the captain's map. Very nice. There we go. Do you know, over the weekend I've really got into this streaming live. We might have to do some more of this.
We have to start calling you Gibbons.
Kevin's got far too much experience compared to me there. I don't think I can keep up with his talent. We've got 4 people viewing at the minute, which is nice. I think that captain's map, I might just switch to the Artemis with it being the Zimni ship. Every time they jump it's going to go black, so I'm going to switch the captain's map, sorry, to the Intrepid. To be able to get their captain's map. There we go. That way we're going to see what the Intrepid captain is really focusing on, and not lose the picture when the Artemis jumps.
I don't remember the effect for the jump being so loud.
Yeah, I suppose it's one of those things in the RP community. We don't really use jump ships, do
Artemis,
we?
the ship in A5 has been taken care of. What is next?
Intrepid, please continue to intercept fleet in Charlie 2.
I think from what I heard, a lot of these guys who are playing now play as part of the Eastern Front online group, don't they?
I think so, yeah.
So the Eastern Front meeting through the week, is it Thursday night that they meet? Or Thursday night for us? Or Thursday night for them? I think it might be Thursday night for them, which for us in the UK is very early morning, so can't usually join them on the Eastern Front. Of course, I may be wrong there, I do apologise. The best bet is to try and look up somebody in the Eastern Front on the forums. You could ask about them, I'm sure somebody will reply there.
Intrepid, can you confirm?
We've got a couple of people from the TSN RP community.
We are presently in fuel saver, fuel collection mode. We are trying to get taunts off on the enemy vessels to lure them over.
They also play in the Eastern Front, so
Report when ready to fight.
I know they're quite active Artemis players. They very much enjoy the game, and they're very, very, very good players. They're excellent additions to the TSN crews, I think. What other online communities do we have in the Artemis? The Eastern Front, there's the USN meets fairly regularly, doesn't it? They organise games through their website.
Yeah, Eastern Front, USN. There's the Canadian group. What are they called?
So their Canada fleet, they take a lot of their cannon from what we have as well. Is it the 3rd Division?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. So they do a lot of meetings in person. Obviously, at the moment, they have shifted a lot of their games to a monthly game online, so that they can still meet up. But I know the Canada fleet, they have lots of LAN parties around Canada to meet up and play. So yeah, and obviously, there's 3 main groups online, I think, to meet up with and play with. The TSN RP community, obviously, the one that myself and Fish are from, and work together to run that one, don't we, Fish? The Eastern Front, and I think the Eastern Front go more along the pirate lines of their cannon, don't they? They prefer the mercenary ships, the lone wolves, and the pirate crews, and then the USN who get together and play similar kind of missions to the TSN. I think the role play there, they're a little bit more loose with it. They're not as strict as we are with the role play. We're quite into our role play. We think it's the element that makes us a little bit unique in the TSN RP community.
Artemis, 2 of the ships are turning back to the convoy.
I think what's nice is there's a time and a style for everybody to join in on.
We will engage F91 in sector Charlie 4.
And if you're that way out, you can join in on every single one of the groups as well. If you can't get enough of Artemis.
Yeah, I don't think there's many, or if any, scheduling conflicts between the groups, although you might have a few sleepless nights.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, I don't know when the USN meet. I think they've got their own Discord server, and they organise meetings through there. From what I know, they meet at least once a week, I'd imagine, or a couple of times over a month at least. I know, Fish, you've joined the USN once or twice, haven't you, for a game?
Once or twice, yes. Quite a while ago, though.
And I know a few people have joined the TSN RP community. They've found the Eastern Front, first joined in the game there, and heard about the TSN RP community through them, and come to join us as well. So we get members going across both groups, definitely. shameless plugging of all the online groups there. But I think you are more than welcome to join in any of those groups. There are players of all experience in all three, and there are players in all three groups that will welcome the very newest players to the most experienced players. The nice thing about the community is online, and the community in general is it doesn't matter what level you're experienced. You don't have to be afraid of. I've heard people going, "Oh, I can't really join that group because I don't have the experience." From what I've seen, that's never been a problem. There's always somebody there to help out, always somebody willing to show you the ropes and let you get playing. And I know in the TSN RP community, it doesn't matter if it's the very first time you've played, you are more than welcome to join. You're more than welcome to jump in on a game, and we make allowances for different people's experiences. Everybody's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and if you're worried about sort of role play in our particular group, don't. As long as you're not going to go out your way to step on other people, it's not an issue. You can roleplay as little as long as you want, as long as you don't sort of push the fun into the other people who are taking it perhaps a little bit more seriously. And we've got several different ships. Some ships roleplay more heavily than other ships. So, you know, there's something for everybody there. Well, nearly everybody, I would hope.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we did deliberately call ourselves a Terran Stellar Navy roleplay community because we wanted to emphasise that element of roleplay within our group. We want to say, look, if you're going to come to our group, our main aim is to roleplay. You know, we all use officer ranks. You follow like a chain of command. People who take on the helm and the weapons, take the role really seriously, and want to basically be that officer for that period of time. But at the same time, like you say, we say, look, if you want to come along and you just want to pick up that weapons console and be part of a crew.
Can you take care of the enemies in Echo 4?
Part of an experienced crew who enjoy working together, and you don't necessarily want to go headlong into the role play.
Copy that.
You're more than welcome to, as long as you are happy to be there and listen to other people role playing, and to chip in and kind of get on board with what we're doing, I suppose. Not necessarily force yourself into a character or something that you can't do, but you know, get on board with the attack patterns that we use and things, so knowing what they are, and yeah, just try not to break the character for other people. I think we've got a few people that prefer a more relaxed approach, don't they, to the role play, and definitely don't stay in character or even don't take on a character. And then we've got people who really take on a character all of the time, and we've got a really nice balance. I think we've got people who are part of our group who show that respect to the people who really go for the role play, and the role play is showing the respect for the people who don't, not forcing it on them. So I'd say we're a fairly welcoming and open group to any and all.
Bottom line is that we're all here to have fun and enjoy the game in as many ways as are compatible.
Yeah, most definitely. And we find one of the most enjoyable things that we've got is having lots of ships online and lots of people working together. So that's why we have that open policy of, yeah, you don't have to roleplay, you can still be part of our group, you can still be part of that team and have a lot of fun with it. Because we want people in, and we want people enjoying themselves. That's one of the reasons why we put on this event. We wanted people to be able to enjoy themselves playing Artemis. I think one of the things that we deliberated putting on this event was whether we were going to use our TSN mod, didn't we?
Yeah, and well, although it's not particularly hard to install. It's just download things and copy it over to your Artemis install. We wanted to make this as inclusive as possible. I mean, the mod does change the base game quite significantly. I mean, the ships are more energy efficient. There's a few more classes, and we don't want to confuse people too much. Just for a public event, which we want to be, inclusive to the community, especially during this lockdown when the Armadas had to be closed.
Yeah, I mean, when we were planning, in the planning stages, we were looking at, well, we could run a couple of missions using the mod, so people could try that out, and we'll run a few missions using the main Artemis game without any modifications. But I think we eventually decided, actually, no, we're going to run them all with the unmodified Artemis games. That way, it makes every single event that we're running open to anybody who wants to join, rather than having to limit numbers of people who can join just because we wanted to run with a mod. Then we wanted to keep it open to as many people as possible. I think that fits in with kind of Tom's philosophy as well. He wants it open to as many people as can get together. So
CIC to Artemis and Intrepid. Convoy is now awaiting transition. Please lead the way when you want.
Right, I think I am going to leave the music playing. I'm going to leave the game playing. I think I've just managed to... Have I just lost all of my feeds? Yeah, I just managed to minimize every single feed there at the same time. So if you saw a blank screen, I do apologize.
Artemis, what is your status?
Very low on energy, but we have enough to transition.
Well, it's nice to know that it's taken all this time to make a faux pas like that. The screen just went green, completely green, as everything got minimized. Just for you watching, if you are watching the playback, it is currently 2:53 AM for me, so and I've been running this event all weekend. I think I'm allowed that one slip up. Okay, I'm gonna step away and just get my last drink of the evening. I think I'll get one more coffee and leave the music playing. Like I say, you'll be able to hear the communications from Fish and from the two bridges going backwards and forwards when they're making them.
Intrepid gets ready for transition.
There you go. Enjoy this last mission, guys.
Copy. Intrepid ready.
Artemis, be advised that Intrepid is low on energy and torpedoes.
So let's get them some enemies to fight through here. We'll go with mainly pirates.
Artemis requesting permission to dock with Station Novara in Bravo 2.
Granted.
What I've just done now is I've put a marker in the nebula near the Armada gate. Convoy's going to jump out through the Armada gate, and we'll call it there. But there's going to be an ambush from there. So I'm just giving them a hint at the minute of what might be coming. And we'll see if they take or notice it.
Intrepid, please report status.
We just finished hopping off. What are your orders?
Please intercept Papa 9-3 in Bravo 3.
Papa 9-3, aye.
We get a couple more boats coming out of the very heavy nebula in one of the areas.
Alright, I am back. I've got a nice strong cup of coffee.
Welcome back. So I'm setting up an ambush for them. I've given them a hint that there's something lurking in one of the nebulas near the gate, but let's see if they notice.
Right. I'll just zoom out the captain's map so we can see the overall situation there. Angel of Rust watching the stream there. Angel of Rust being somebody who came along to a few of the events. I gotta say thank you very much for coming along and supporting them. Without you guys there, it wouldn't have happened really.
What I was going to do is speed the convoy up a little bit as we're going to go over time a little bit here, especially as they haven't had the little crescendo yet. I'm just going to gather it up and get them going fairly speedily. So far, it looks like they haven't noticed the sensor point in the nebula. I think I'll send a message from comms. We're getting some odd readings from one of the nebulas. Can you do a detailed scan? That should be reasonably obvious in console. And looks like that convoy is all together now, so let's get it IOing again. I have to say, as a request for the next edition of the sandbox, I think the speed control, the negative 0.6 or the plus 0.6, be made a little bit finer, just to give a little bit finer control over the speed of ships.
There could be a possibility of having a 0.6 and a 0.3 both present.
Yeah, if I'm right, it's an addition. So if you wanted 0.6, you could push a 0.3 in theory button twice. So, just a thought on the last few Game Master missions I've been having. And it appears that they have not looked for the sensor reading or that, so they're going to get a bit of a messy fleet to deal with. I might just remove one or two of those, that's quite a heavy fleet.
Please intercept fleet in Charlie 4. Also, if you need to restock, do at BS11 or Ocean Station.
Copy, copy.
I think 4 carriers is quite enough to be going on with against 2 ships.
TSC to all ships. Convoy commander reports that the Armada gate is currently jammed by the enemies in this area.
Acknowledged.
Confirmed. Intrepid, please dock up at BS11 station.
Acknowledged. We are heading to DS11 to restock.
Acknowledged.
Artemis, there are 2 bogies southwest of the gate. EMP in the Artemis.
The 3 follow-ups are homing.
Artemis, how do you want to handle the anomaly in C4?
What's the time? No, we should probably wrap it up there. Remove that.
CIC to all ships, good job, the convoy is away and out of our area of responsibility. Proceed to the nearest base, dock up and power down systems.
Just transferred over to our ending footage there. So well done to the crews there. They managed to achieve those mission objectives quite well, didn't they?
Yes. In fact, I think I may have removed one too many carriers that I spawned there. They dealt with that much faster than I was anticipating. But I hope they enjoyed it.
Okay, I think I'm going to bring this broadcast to an end. We've got one more broadcast, I think, just to close the whole event, so that'll be coming up in a couple of minutes' time, just while we get organised here. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing our final Game Master mission of the TSN Armada Online.